So we need to make the iPhone more affordable.
The iPhone SE has two major problems. One is the looks and the other is the battery life. I think, however, that it has a third problem, and that is the perception of most people as to what this iPhone should be and why it even exists. Reviewers are saying that it's boring, others compare it to similarly priced Android phones that arguably have modern design approach, but the way I see it, the 2020 iPhone SE is exactly like Mercedes' G-Class. Not sure what I mean? Let me explain. Today's video is brought to you by Anker and their best-selling wireless charger recommended by several famous media outlets like BuzzFeed, CNET, and iMore. Hit the link in the description to learn more. Hey guys, this is E, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Iskren and most people call me E, and the 2020 iPhone SE is just like the German G-Wagon. The G-Class has been carrying the same look since 1979. Since then, it has gone through visual tweaks and improvements over the years, but so is the iPhone SE. You can consider the industrial looks of this easy-to-hold phone as classic and even timeless. Probably the last phone resembling the OG iPhone. If we compare it with the 6 or 6S, although they share the same silhouette and shape, both look years apart, and they are. The G-Class usually has a very powerful AMG engine. So does the iPhone SE, carrying the most powerful Apple A13 Bionic chip that performs pretty much the same, if not better, than flagships that cost $1,400. The G-Class burns fuel like crazy, so does the SE when it comes to battery life. Honestly, in this ridiculous comparison, the biggest difference between the SUV and the iPhone SE is that you can afford the SE and most likely not the G-Class. Most people that are looking to buy the iPhone SE probably won't care about this that much, but coming from the iPhone 11 Pro Max, I could easily keep the SE as my primary device and have zero regrets. And that speaks volume about this little iPhone. Let me tell you why, and I will get to the battery concerns as well. The build quality of the SE is on par with the most expensive Apple devices. Clearing up the back panel and centering the Apple logo makes the SE looking very clean and classy at the same time, especially in this white color which hides fingerprints perfectly. Notice that the front is now black, something that back in the day people would pay to have the back panel replaced and achieve this Stormtrooper combination. Being smaller than the rest was something to mock the iPhones about in the past, but today, this form factor stands out in a sea of giant screens and terribly unergonomic devices. For the first time in a long time, I felt the absence of having a phone in my pocket. The iOS experience is just as good as my 11 Pro Max, silky smooth and a little bit more cramped when it comes to home screen icons. I did feel the absence of haptic touch, which I find weird why Apple would omit. Same goes for tap to wake. I think we're all spoiled. Also, I had to Google how to use Apple Pay with a home button, and I found it very weird at first. In case you're interested, in order to use Apple Pay with Touch ID, all you have to do is gently rest your thumb on the home button and bring the device closer to the terminal. No preliminary indication of being activated. Like I mentioned, the physical dimensions of this device and even the LCD display are great, but I miss the taller aspect ratios of the new devices. The 16:9 on the SE is a whiff of yesteryear, when we have plenty of streaming content coming in 2:1 or even wider. The 16:9 ratio is also not ideal in a world of vertical scrolling, but let's get down to earth. So the battery life. The 1800-ish mAh in this ridiculously thin and light SE won't win any battery tests. In fact, for the power users out there and the media consumers, it won't live an entire day. But for the rest, the majority of people, the kids, the grandparents, those who are dying to get into the Apple ecosystem, the SE's battery is as good as it is. Portability, and in the case of the SE, affordability, means some sort of compromise. Let's not forget, however, that it now has wireless charging as standard, so Topping it up is as simple as placing it on a charging pad. This brings me to today's video sponsor Anker and their most popular and best-selling PowerWave wireless charging pad. This stylish pad supports 10 watts high-speed charging for Samsung Galaxy phones and 7.5 watt charging mode to juice up iPhones, which is 10% faster than some other brands. The sleep-friendly LED indicator is a blessing, allowing you to easily check the charging status of your device. It is also designed to be gentle enough that it won't disturb your sleep. Anker is a charging brand which has established itself as a trustworthy leader in this segment. The PowerWave chargers work well when rocking your phone with a case, so to get your hands on your own Anker wireless charging pad, hit the link in the description below. Not necessarily, but one thing that might throw people off the first few days of owning the SE is how quickly the battery might drain. This usually happens with people who have existing iCloud accounts that are transferring to the new SE and respectively their iCloud photos. Depending on your library, you'll most likely have more battery usage the first few days as your library is being synced to the new device. Afterwards, it is business as usual. While rocking the SE, I would get up at 7:30 AM and grab it from the charger. After normal usage and even some of my son's short YouTube Kids sessions, I would end the day around 10 PM with some 20% juice to spare. The camera on the SE is a single lens champ and given the proper light will perform as good as its flagship siblings. During the day, all photos come out absolutely gorgeous, and they do suffer at night because there's no night mode available when light is scarce, but that's something that most people can live with. When it comes to video capabilities, the SE leaves even the most expensive Android phones in the dust. We're talking about 4K at 60 frames per second in a phone that costs $400. This is absurd. I am sure at some point some will say, but you can buy an Android phone that has a 15-inch waterfall AMOLED display and heat-dissipating pipes for gaming while rocking an 8000 mAh battery. What do you say? I say sure, buy the Android phone and come back to me in 2025 while the SE is running the latest iOS 19. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is ThisIsE, over and out.